Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be covering another brand that was able to generate $35 million in annual revenue, and I'm going to be going through the entire funnel from the amount of traffic that they're bringing to the website. I'll be going through the targeting of the traffic. I'll also go through the ads that they're running in order to generate this amount of revenue. I'll also go through the website, how they're optimizing for conversions and being able to maximize their AOV. And as a bonus, I'll go through their email marketing strategy and how they are going ahead and retaining their current customers. So make sure you watch this video to the end. You'll gain a ton of value. And if you're a brand owner and you're looking to scale, maybe you're generating some revenue already and you're having problems with ads, email marketing, or your website optimization, or you need a holistic strategy which you can be able to scale quite effectively and guarantee that, right? Or you don't pay, right? Then go ahead and book in a call below and I can potentially consult you one-on-one, where I can provide you the frameworks and hold you accountable for being able to scale and pretty much double your revenue, right? Like I've done for this brand, for example, where I helped them generate pretty much over almost $400,000 in a 60-day period, right? They were doing 50K a month or so. And with these strategies, I was able to help them to scale to that level, right? So this strategy definitely works. So you can go ahead and DM me on Instagram. But in terms of this brand, right? This brand is called Sarah and Sebastian, right? This is their logo, and they were able to generate $35 million in a 12-month period, right? So they have been around since 2012, so they have been around for a while, and they've been able to grow ever since. And you can see that they sell jewelry, they're handcrafted to order in their Sydney workshop, and they also work with a small network of international manufacturers. So they were able to expand out and pretty much get to the point where now they're generating $35 million in a 12-month period, right? So how are they able to do that, right? So I'm going to cover that in this video. So you can see here that they are going ahead and generating a ton of traffic. And this is very important because if you want to reach these type of numbers in terms of revenue, then you need to have an understanding of the scalability of your product, the scalability of your brand, what's possible when you try to scale. And you can see here, Sarah and Sebastian have gone ahead and be able to generate 200,000 monthly visitors just from their international website, right? So they do have several websites. This one is the international one. They do have an Australian one as well. But you can see here, 200,000 monthly visitors. And you can imagine they can generate upwards of 800,000 K or $800,000 in monthly revenue from that, which is going to contribute to them being able to generate the 30 to 35 million that they have been generating, right? So you can see here their bounce rate is 36%, which is below average, right? Or you can say above average, depending on how you look at it. But you definitely want this to be as low as possible. You can see here that is below 50%, which is roughly around the average. And it means that 36% of people are going ahead and leaving after seeing the first page, which means that the majority of people who visit the website are going ahead and seeing multiple pages. And as I've mentioned in other videos, you definitely want your website visitors to see multiple pages because it is going to allow them to get indoctrinated with products and be able to understand, okay, what is being promoted and then make informed decisions about their purchases, right? And actually increase the likelihood of them purchasing. Because if they just leave after the first page, then they're not really getting the idea of what you're trying to sell or what's being promoted, what extra details can convince them to purchase as well. So all of these different things matter. So you can see why having a small bounce rate can increase the performance of the brand, right? Alongside that, they have 3.74 pages per visitor, which is also very good. And it basically means that on average, 3.7 pages are being seen per visitor, which means that some people are visiting 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. Some are visiting just one. But on average, it works out to be around 4 pages. And it's a very good number because it means that people are seeing different pages. They're going ahead and looking at different products that are on offer. And that is going to lead to them going ahead and making an informed decision and be more likely to purchase, right? Because now they have a better understanding of what products are being promoted and whether on which products they want to buy as well, and whether they want to buy multiple products, which is very important, right? So you definitely want to make sure this is as high as possible. And again, this is pretty much determined by your ability to generate the right amount of traffic and the type of traffic as well, alongside going ahead and making sure that your website is optimized for engagement and retention on the website, right? Because if your website is boring, like the old, shitty Shopify store, the standard theme, which has no differentiation from its competitors, then you're not going to be able to retain people's attention on the site because they would have seen this type of site before. Their images may be uninspiring. All of these different things compound upon each other, and that leads to people just going ahead and leaving because you have nothing to offer them, right? So that definitely needs to be taken into account. And you can see, I'll just show you the website of Sarah and Sebastian. They have a very good website that's actually speaking to their target market. They communicate with them and sub-communicates with them very well. And then alongside that, you can see the average video duration is 1 minute and 50 seconds. This is very good because it's above 1 minute. Usually you want this to be above 1 minute and 30 seconds. If it's below that, if it's even lower than 1 minute, then that's a huge red flag because it means that people are not spending time on your website. And you definitely want to do that, right? Because that's pretty much correlated with their ability to go ahead and purchase and the conversion rates as a whole. So you want them to be spending on the site as long as possible, ideally above 2 minutes. If you can do that, then you're pretty much golden because it means that people are going ahead and viewing your products at length. And that's going to make them enter the consideration phase and then eventually the conversion phase, right? So they're going to go down the funnel much more efficiently. And that's going to help with getting them to pretty much convert. So alongside that, we've got the geography. You can see here that for this website, they are going ahead and targeting pretty much Australia. They are an Australian brand based in Sydney, so this is expected. They have a good understanding of the Australian market, and that is leading them to go ahead and scale in that market, right? And remember, the Australian market is still a big market. You can still produce a fuck ton of revenue in that market, and that's what they've gone ahead and done, right? Because they have a good understanding of the market, including the competitors, the landscape, where the sort of opportunities are in order to scale and position their brand, so that they can actually be able to outcompete their competitors. Because if they were to copy what other brands were doing, they would not be able to scale. They would not be able to capture market share, and that's obviously going to lead to inability to gain profits. But you can see here they've done very well because they're focusing on providing a good customer service, right, and a good user experience by sticking to their home country, and then also expanding out to other countries later on. So you can see here, 85% is from Australia, right? I recommend that you as a brand owner go ahead and focus on one particular country, whether that's your home country or United States. You just need to make sure that you have very good logistics in that area and that you have a good understanding of the market, which most brands do not, by the way, because they're not engulfed in that market. They haven't done sufficient market research and gone ahead and done any focus groups, things like that in order to gain insight and the data that's required for them to go ahead and position themselves correctly in that market, right? So that is to be considered. But you can see here, they are predominantly targeting Australia with their .com store, right? They have other stores as well, which is contributing to them being able to go ahead and generate $75 million, right? Alongside that, they are also producing the traffic from various different traffic sources. You can see here, one of them being direct, and that's going to enable them to go ahead and pretty much generate traffic from a multitude of different sources, including search and social. And also people know about the brand already, so they're just going to go straight to the website from the browser, right? So they just type in the URL of the brand and it'll go straight to the website from their browser, right? Which is ultimately what you want because it means that people are taking the initiative and going ahead and visit the website without needing to go through search or social, right, or referrals. So that's good, especially as they most likely have, or definitely have a loyal customer base now. So that's worth taking into account. Also from search, 40% is from search. Some of it will be from organic search, some of it will be from paid search. But the idea here is that people are looking for the brand and they're going straight to the website from Google or Bing, right, or Microsoft. And then you get some who will come straight from ads, right, from search ads or shopping ads. This will be categorized under search. And then we have 4.27% from referrals and then 2% or 3% from social. Again, social will be a lot bigger, right, or contribute a lot more on mobile because a lot of people use social on their mobile. And as you can expect, 80% of the total traffic to the website will be actually be from mobile, right? So worth taking that into account. You definitely want to be focused on social and also search as well, but that's organic, and also email as well, because that's where you can be able to retain customers. So again, I help brands out with all of that, and you can definitely go ahead and DM me on Instagram if you have any questions based on that. But yeah, this is pretty much an overview of how they're able to generate traffic, where they're generating the traffic, and how they're generating the traffic. Now, in terms of marketing, because they would need a lot of marketing in order to get to this amount of revenue, they're predominantly using Meta ads. You can see here that they're running upwards of 72 ads at the moment, which is a lot of ads to be running. But all of this is contributing to them being able to generate a good ROI and a good amount of revenue as well. You can see they have very nice creatives that's gone ahead and communicated the brand identity. And we're going to go through the components now, right? So you can see here, one of them being, again, model wearing the product. You can see it's upside down, which is quite interesting. And they go ahead and talk about, or the copy goes ahead and talks about the new collection. And they go into detail about the inspiration of the collection, right? An ode to the power and resilience of the most beautiful wild pieces. And then they go ahead and describe the feature, right? 18 karat solid gold with natural tourmalines, emeralds, and diamonds. So they have pretty much gone through and introduced the collection and kind of called out their target customer, right? People who are interested in fine jewelry, right, will be interested in this ad. And you can see the way they've collated the image or created the image here, that they are really trying to make the jewelry be contrasted with the background and increase its perceived value. So that's what I've gone ahead and done here. And again, very aesthetic ad. It's going to speak to their target market. They have their brand logo in the middle as well. So that's also going to go ahead and present or produce brand awareness as well. So now, alongside this ad, they're also running this ad as well. This, as you can see, is a video ad. They use a very similar copy to the first ad. They just removed the first part. They say natural timelines, emeralds, and diamonds define the pillar collection. So you can see here they have a video showcasing the different products in the collection, and you definitely want to diversify that. You want to have both the images and the videos so that you can go ahead and see what is working with your target market, right? Regardless of what you are in the jewelry space, fashion space, beauty space, supplement space, so on and so forth. You definitely want to be able to go ahead and identify and test what is working with your target market. What is the creative market fit, basically. So that's what they're doing here. And you see alongside here, they have different models wearing different products. And you can see here, they are promoting elegant gifts, fine necklaces in this case, right? You can see at the top here, they're promoting their bracelets and their rings. Same here, right? You got a choker, you got a bracelet, and you got a ring as well. So, and earrings also. So they are promoting different products here in tandem. Here, they're just promoting the necklace. Again, they have a different model wearing a different product. And again, this is going to attract their target customer because it looks very elegant and it's also taking into account what the target market actually likes, which is exquisite fine jewelry necklaces, right? So very simple, but very elegant. That's going to attract the target market. They included a model which would reflect that. Ideally, somebody who is sort of aspirational in the sense that they've gone ahead and utilized a model, right? Because usually the target market aspires to be like the model. So they understand that, and that's why you see a lot of brands, or almost all brands, use models, because it's just an easy way to subconsciously create desire in their product, right? Just by association. And then they've got another one here. They are promoting their earrings, and that's also one way to diversify your creative by going ahead and promoting different collections. You can have different models wearing different parts of your collection or different collections and at different angles as well. So that's what they're testing here. And that's working very well for them too as well. So again, this is just 4 hours out of the 72. And that's how you're going to be able to find out what is working with your target market and be able to scale what is working, right? Because that's effectively what I did with this client that I worked with, right? That was generating $385,000 in a 60-day period, right? And we were effectively testing the ads. We were making sure that we were implementing the right strategies that complemented their target market and also their brand positioning as well, alongside combining that with other strategies, which I'm going to go over right now, right? So this definitely works. And again, if you want to replicate these type of results for your own brand, maybe you're generating 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K a month, then book a call below. This is the perfect solution for you, right? But obviously, make sure you watch this to the end because I'm going to go through the next part, which is how they're able to convert the traffic that they bring into the website from these 72 ads. So they would eventually enter the homepage. You can see here that they are greeted with an email pop-up. And again, this is extremely important, right? I mentioned this in other videos that you see all the big brands, they somehow have an email pop-up, right? And the reason they do that is because they want to collect emails so they can go ahead and market to these people. So that's what Sarah and Sebastian have done. Again, it's not a coincidence at this point. It's pretty much clear that they are trying to go ahead and facilitate a system where they can go ahead and scale, right? So this is what smaller brands miss out on. They think they just put a pop-up for no reason. No, you're putting it up there because you want to go ahead and enable a holistic strategy for your own brand, right? So that's what they're doing. They know perfectly well. And here they say sign up for first access to collection previews, new arrivals, store openings, and more. You can see here that they don't provide a discount, which is very interesting because it seems to not be a part of their marketing strategy to provide discounts. And this can work quite well because ideally for fine jewelry, you don't want to provide discounts. And they seem to be towing that line. So people go ahead and enter in their email and their first name, and then they sign up, right? Now, once they sign up, or they don't, they will go ahead and be presented with the homepage. You can see here, they have a model wearing the product, and they are promoting the collection, right? Basically, hero image, standard stuff. And we've seen this time and time again. I've shown this time and time again in my other videos. Again, make sure you watch those because you will see a recurring theme, which all the bigger brands are actually following and executing upon, which is definitely something that you need to be implementing as well. And then we've got another one here. They're showcasing necklaces, and you can see they have a model wearing the products. So they've been very consistent, and in the way it is presented to them is like very consistent with their branding. They're using the same font, etc. And rings as well, new collection, and bracelets, earrings, and so on and so forth, right? So they go ahead and promote soldier experience as well. And this seems to be a case of just booking in an appointment. So that can be done if it's applicable, but most of the time it's not for your brand, depending on what vertical you're in. And again, they have engagement and wedding experience. Sarah and Sebastian's engagement and wedding experience embodies are considered design philosophy where every detail reflects your modern love story. This is where you can book an experience. And ear and alchemy piercing, right? There you can also book and philanthropic initiative, right? So they have all these different things, right? They are going ahead and trying to maximize people to be on the website and stay on the website, whilst also maximizing conversion rates by sending people to the collection pages as well. You can see here, they're not just putting it here for no reason to make it look pretty, right? Obviously, they wanted to make it look aesthetic, but they are also wanting to send people to the pages where they can view the products and the collections, right? And the reason I want to do that is because they want people to fucking buy, right? So that's the goal of them doing all of this. And again, as I mentioned in other videos, you can try and do this with Shopify. I recommend that you work with a developer so that you're not looking like every other brand out there, right? Who's doing this, using the same shitty theme on Shopify and then expecting to get a different result, right? That's pretty much the definition of insanity, right? So you definitely want to work with a developer, somebody who can produce a custom website for you that is actually more aesthetic, that actually feeds into your brand story, brand image, all of this good stuff. And you actually like it as a brand owner in the long run as well, because you're actually fulfilling out on your brand image and what you want the brand to look like to your target market, right? But you're also following the best practices as well, because the last thing you want to do is create a fancy website which incorporates your brand story into it and your brand aesthetic, but you're not optimizing for conversions, which will actually mean you're just wasting your fucking money, right? So you don't want to do that. And basically you want to have those two things in mind, right? Your brand story, brand image, and also optimizing for conversions like they have. So once they go from the home page to the collection page, they'll eventually go to the product page, right? So you can see here that they are now showcasing the product on a gray background, and this is going to help with getting people to understand what is being promoted and how the product actually looks like, right? And they'll have multiple different angles of the product. They will have a model wearing the product as well, and that's going to help the target customer go ahead and understand exactly what it is that they will be purchasing, right? Because the last thing you want is for somebody to either leave the website because they don't understand what the fuck you're trying to sell, or even worse, they will buy the product and they're like, oh, this is not the product, what the product looks like. I want a refund, and they will go ahead and charge back, right? And now you have a massive return rate, and you're now compromising the profits of the business. So this is very important, right? This should not be taken lightly. You need to be taking high quality photos. You need to make sure they have models wearing the product. You need to make sure you have multiple angles of the product. And that's just half of the equation, right? You also want to be describing the product with very good detail and very succinctly as well, so that it's very clear what you're promoting, okay? And not only that, it will help you to rank on search as well, which is a different story. But for the purpose of optimizing for conversions, you definitely need to communicate the product very clearly, like they've done here, especially with a fucking £800 product, right? A 1K product. You definitely need to communicate what on earth is being promoted here, right? So you can see here they go into detail about that. So mirroring the shifting green tones of Gridis patina. This necklace features an oval tourmaline gemstone surrounded by petite natural diamonds, right? So they go into more detail to describe it as 18 karat gold, right? They give details, production, packaging, care guide. All this stuff is necessary and essential for the target customer to understand how they're going to look after the product, what's included with the product, how it's produced, and what are the details of the product, right? Once you have all of those things covered alongside shipping and returns policy, then now they have pretty much almost everything that they need in order to go ahead and purchase, right? Or not purchase. Alongside that, they also have a live chat here, as you can see on the side, where I have this chat icon. Very important, because usually for high price items, the target customer is going to want to ask questions and just get their queries answered personally, so they can have their objections handled, and then they can go ahead and make a buy decision after that, right? So they're very important as well. And then they have product recommendations. They have necklace size guide as well on top of that. So for people who are unsure, which is very important, because if they're going to buy a $1,000 product, they definitely want to know what is the right size for them and whether this is a good fit for them at all. As I mentioned, there's a product recommendations here so that people can go ahead and add multiple items to their cart, or if they don't like this product for whatever reason, they can go ahead and just view other products very easily. So all in all, this works very well. It helps to maximize conversions. It also helps to increase average order value, right? Because people, right, who go visit the website, not only will they buy, but they can buy multiple items, right? You're always going to have portions of your customer pool who will go ahead and buy multiple items per order. So you definitely want to be able to increase that rate by adding product recommendations, right? And like I mentioned with the homepage, they seem to have a custom page here as well, where they're able to have all of these different aspects to help maximize conversion, because as you know, Shopify is not optimized for conversion really, right? So you definitely want to make sure that you get this type of website developed, right? That's optimized for conversions, but also allows you to convey the brand image and make it look branded as well. and that will help you differentiate from the competitors. So that's the product page, and along after they go ahead to the product page, they'll go to the cart page of the active bag, and they will see the cart page. You can see here they are mentioning complimentary express shipping on all orders above $200, right, within Australia. And then they go ahead and describe the international orders as well, right? Alongside that, they will pretty much offer the ability to add a personalized gift or personalized card and gift wrap. So they're trying to increase your user experience by doing that. That's very important. It should not be overlooked, especially if your product can be gifted or is likely to be gifted. They can offer that perk there as well and that option so that people can enhance their user experience. So that's good. They can also provide product recommendations as well. They haven't done that in this case, maybe because it's a more expensive item and it's not necessary for them to do so. So it's something worth split testing, even especially if you have a low price product. Like let's say you're in the clothing space, for example. I recommend that you have a product recommendations widget on the cart page, right? And again, you may want to have that customly coded, as sometimes the apps may not be the way you want it to be, right? Or be aesthetic enough. So when people go ahead to the cart page and they check out, eventually they'll purchase and they will now be greeted with email marketing promotional emails, right? Here's an example of Sarah and Sebastian's emails, and not only will the target customer or the actual customer come and see the emails, but you have those who opted in to fly the emails on the homepage. So they're coming from two different avenues, right? One from the homepage, right? Or the landing page, where they'll see the email pop up and they'll sign up. And they also come from those who purchase, right? If they purchased from the brand, they'll automatically be signed up to the emails. So two places where you can go ahead and collect emails, and that's what they're doing here, right? Most brands who are just not at that level just collect emails just from the checkout, right? And again, most people, 95 to 97% of people don't purchase, right? So what are you going to do with those 97% of people who don't give you their email, right? They're just going to go away and go back to what they were doing. They'll never come back to the website unless you retarget them, which also costs money. So your most effective way and efficient way of collecting emails is also to collect it on the homepage, as I mentioned. So that's what they've done, and you can imagine when they bring in a fuck ton of traffic like they are, right? When they're producing upwards of 225, 200 monthly visitors, right? 200,000 or so monthly visitors. That is a lot of emails they're collecting. If this email pop-up was to convert at 5%, so 5% of people who go ahead and visit or opt into the email pop-up, right? And there's 200,000 people who are visiting the website every single month. That is a fuck ton of people who are going ahead and opting into the emails, right? That's 10,000 people every single month. So at this point, if you were to generate that amount of traffic, you'll get upwards of 80,000 people on your email list. That will generate you an extra 80, 90K per month, if not more, right? If you go ahead and implement email marketing strategies correctly, right? Which is why I help my clients out with, right? Because it's so important if you want to maximize your lifetime value. Because gone are the days of you running ads and you expect them to make a profit, right? And you wanted to scale as well, right? If you think you can do both, then you're absolutely deluded. And I don't know where you got your information from to think that you can do that. But the reality is, if you're serious, if you're thinking in real terms, right, you're not in La La Land, you can't go ahead and just run ads and expect to make 10x ROI. It doesn't work like that anymore, right? And you expect to scale. So Sarah and Sebastian understand that, and they are going ahead and do aggressive email campaigns, right? So you can see here, here's one example. They are promoting the shades of blue. Rediscover blue hued essentials with handpicked topaz diamonds, including parrot head, back-eyed, evil eye emblems, and intricate pieces echoing the ebb and flow of ocean waves, right? So they just provide an overview of the collection, right? And the products, and you can see here they're promoting the turquoise products. So very simple, right? It will send them to the collection page or the home page or the product page in this case. And guess what? They'll go back to the website, they'll go back to the product page, okay, and they'll go ahead to the cart page and purchase that turquoise item, right? And now they are either a new customer or they're a returning customer, right? So now you can see how you can get multiple people to buy multiple products, right? And that will help to maximize lifetime value, which is going to help the brand to scale, right? Because now they can spend more to acquire a customer. Now they can outspend their competitors and basically capture more revenue, more new customers, right? They're basically stealing customers from their competitors because they can spend more to acquire that customer, right? While other brands are struggling and they're fucking doing what 20, 25K a month because they're scared to spend the money and they don't know what they're doing, basically, right? They're not applying a holistic strategy, which will enable them to maximize their acquisition costs, which is the whole point of ads in the first place. The whole purpose of the ads is not to go ahead and just fuck around and do whatever you want. The whole purpose of ads and what bigger brands utilize it for is to go ahead and maximize their ability to acquire customers at scale, right? When brands say, oh, I can only spend this amount every single month, and they have very, very tight constraints on how much they can spend to acquire a customer, they're actually doing one of the worst things you can do when it comes to marketing, right? Which is stopping yourself from spending as much as possible to acquire a customer and bringing new customers, right? Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, your competitors are going ahead and spending more than you, and as a result, they're going to get more of your customers, which you're not going to be able to get back, right? Now you have to spend more to get them back. You have to market more aggressively to try and get them back when they've already gone with your competitor. So that's the big mistake that brands make, and why I implore a lot of brands to not go ahead and do that. And make sure that you have the back end numbers in place so they have a good understanding of how they can go ahead and maximize their profits alongside their revenues as well, so that it's sustainable, right? Because you're going ahead and trying to maintain 10x ROI at sustainably is going to be increasingly more difficult as time goes on, because more players are coming into the market, and if that is happening, it means that there's less customers to go around. They're going ahead and buying from other people or other brands, which means they don't need to buy from yours, and then eventually your customer acquisition cost will go up, right? And because of that, now you're in a place where you're bringing less customers for the same amount of ad spend, and all because you have a flawed view of how to go ahead and acquire customers, right? So again, the bigger brands are not doing that. They're going ahead and make sure that they're going ahead and spending as much as possible to acquire a customer, and I've seen it time and time again, and it works like a charm, right? So you need to have that mindset, and again, I provide all of these different mindsets in my one-on-one, and it's changing business owners' perspectives on how they should be going ahead and holistically scaling their business, right? Because at the end of the day, all you fucking care about is actually making profit with the business and scaling it, right? And acquiring new customers and bring them back into the website, into the brand again and again and again, right? So that you're not having to go ahead and keep spending more money to bring new customers and try and keep it afloat. So that's what you care about, and this is the best way to go ahead and make that a reality, right? You see how I'm not just sending you ads, I'm promoting the idea that you need to make sure that you provide the best or the best user experience as possible, that you need to go ahead and make sure that your customers come back again and again to go ahead and purchase from you, so that you can actually maximize your lifetime value and you can sustainably scale as well. Because if you don't do that, then you're just going to be like fucking everybody else, and you're just going to be at 10K a month, 20K a month, and you're barely making any fucking profit, right? So why are you doing with yourself, right? You're just wasting your time. So that's pretty much it. That's how they're able to generate $35 million in a 12-month period. And this is pretty much how you're going to be able to scale your brand, right? If you listen to other people, they'll tell you to just run ads, make sure you have a good product, so on and so forth. But that's not enough anymore. You need to make sure that you have a good understanding of everything, right? Because your competitors do. And if you are missing the mark, then you can forget it, right? So that's pretty much it. Again, I help brands out with all of this, right? I consult on meta ads, website optimization, email marketing, Okay, so I just provide you the frameworks and I help you to go ahead and implement this, right, in my one-on-one so that you can produce results like this. As I mentioned, $385,000, 60 days, $64,000 in a 30-day period, right? And $70,000 in the 30-day period. So this is pretty much what you can expect. Again, you can do a far more than this. This is just an example. And I have many other case studies, which obviously I can't disclose exactly because it's customer data. So that should be proof that this definitely works. And again, if you're not completely sold, no problem. Go ahead and watch my other videos where you can gain more insight into what other brands are doing and how they're going ahead and execute upon their own strategies and how much traffic they bring to the website in order to generate the revenues that they are generating, right? So make sure you do that. If you haven't already, go ahead and DM me on Instagram, or you can leave a comment below and I'll get right back to you. But see you on the next video.